Hello, and welcome to the Realist Idealist podcast. Have you ever been interested in spirituality but thought you had to live or dress or eat a certain way? Well, I'm here to tell you that spirituality isn't just for granola eating vegan hippies anymore. You don't even have to have good vibes only. But if you're still on the fence because when you hear spiritual people speak, they sound like they're talking in a secret code, well, you're in the right place. Let us help you break it all down into easily digestible nuggets. Welcome aboard. I am your host, spiritual guru and knower of things, Brenna Alexandera, Reiki master, spiritual intuitive, and empath. And in order to balance out my psychic speak, my co-host and the tea to my sugar, Stags Woodward, our own spiritual newbie, joins us from across the pond to ask the real questions. Ayo.
Hey up, how you doing? Yeah.
Good, how are you doing?
I'm not bad. Yeah.
Awesome.
Tea, which seems predictable for somebody in...
Appropriate.
Yeah. Well, there's a time difference as well, isn't there? That's quite nice. I think that makes it a little bit, for me, it's quiet in the dead of night now in deepest Derbyshire. So it seems like a nice situation to be listening.
And I see that you have some tea as well.
I do have tea, yes, yeah, of all kinds.
All right.
Yeah.
So how are you feeling about this? Diving into our first episode.
I'm ready to be initiated. I'm excited about it. Yeah, I know very little on this and these sort of subjects, especially meditation. I've had some bad experiences with meditation that we might talk about later. Nothing life-threatening though. Yeah, but
good.
More a failure to meditate. So you'll have my rapt attention as we move forward.
All right. So on this, our inaugural episode, we will be discussing, as you said, meditation, the importance of breath work, and maybe a few surprises along the way. But I guarantee you that if you are listening to us yammer on, then you are meant to be here. Full transparency, the original plan from the start was to have a quote-unquote expert come in and delve into this topic with us, which you will notice is our usual format in the episodes that will follow this. But unfortunately, that was not in the cards. So I've realized in all the time I spent trying to get someone on and having things fall through, then having my own kind of spiritual crisis, that the universe, God, source, or what have you, was trying to show me that I was selling myself short. It's not always about the degrees or the certifications that you possess, but your experience. And to be quite honest, I wouldn't have made it very far as an energy healer, or a card reader, or a generally spiritually awakened being if I didn't have meditation in my back pocket as a tool. Meditation is the foundation for, well, as far as I'm concerned, it's a foundation for getting through life on this planet. It's how you get yourself right with God, as they say. How you connect back with yourself at the end of a tough day. So with that said, Stags, what do you know about meditation? What is your experience with it?
Well, I don't know. It's one of those things that I know I'm supposed to be doing more of. You often hear that you should be meditating more. And I think possibly I'm particularly that sort of person that somebody would go, you should meditate. I've had a few false starts. I think probably, and there's probably about three answers to this. One of the ways I've probably come up with my own sort of half forms of meditation due to an inability to sleep a lot throughout my life. So I found times of being still, in ways of just trying to be half asleep and stuff like that when I'm when I'm awake at night. But I did have an issue with, I guess this is going to be breath work. I'll learn more down the line, I guess, with this. But I once, in relation to some therapy, they sent me away with some homework, which was to listen to a recording of somebody that was trying to get me to do breathing, and I take instructions very literally. So it was a recording with somebody saying, "Okay, now you will be take a deep breath in, and then they'd sort of talk for a little while and things like that. And then after a while they'd go, and again, take a breath in. And I'd be like, "What? You didn't tell me to breathe out. I haven't breathed out yet. I've been holding my breath. I've been holding my breath now." And essentially, I tried it several times, but there weren't a sufficient number of in and out breaths to avoid me having a panic attack. So I'd be going, "Oh my God, I'm doing it wrong. Oh my God, when can I breathe out?" And they'd be going, and be soothed and relaxed. And I'm sort of going blue, unable to breathe. And then they go, "And breathe in." I was like, "I've breathed in 3 times already. I've not breathed out once yet. You tell me to breathe out." So I'm too literal with that sort of thing. So yeah, I've had a couple of panic attacks attempting breath work. But I'm sure we'll be fine tonight. Yeah, that should be fine. But yeah, I guess are there different kinds of meditation? Is that one of the things that we'll be looking at?
Yeah, definitely. And we're gonna do safe meditation and breath work, I promise.
No panic.
No bad experiences, hopefully. So that's actually a great segue, because one of the first things I wanted to go into was some of the misconceptions surrounding meditation and breath work and stuff like that. And a lot of them a lot of times when you do meditations, people will tell you specific things of how you're supposed to sit, how you're supposed to receive, how you're supposed to, block out everything. And sometimes they make it seem kind of impractical and unattainable for some people, when it can be actually really simple. It's all about finding what works for you. Some people
have to sit in a lotus position then.
No, you don't have to sit in a lotus position if that's not okay.
I'm not that flexible.
Whatever feels comfortable for you, because if you're not comfortable, you're not going to be able to do that work. You're not going to want to do anything if you're not comfortable. Well, there's Murphy behind me.
Oh, there's a cat in your background. Yeah.
Yeah. You decided to say hi.
Ah, cool. I've got Boxy on hand ready as well. Boxy's my cat, just in case I need some support at some point. But yeah, so I should point out at this point, though, I am English, and I don't know that we're ever entirely comfortable at any point. So that might be I'll be as close to comfortable as we can get, but we expect a degree of discomfort really in any situation. I think but I'll get as close to as possible. That's why I'll be a good subject for this, because
so some people are comfortable sitting down. Sometimes people more comfortable laying down, laying down in your bed, whatever feels more comfortable. Some people are better standing. I know I've been through meditations where certain people, especially people with PTSD, sometimes can have a hard time with closing their eyes, especially when they're in a room full of people they're not that familiar with. So sometimes closing your eyes isn't something that you can do. And so we say, okay, find a spot on the wall that's not very interesting looking, just a blank spot on the wall that you can just focus on without thinking about that wall or something that's on there. Like, you're not going to look at a painting because you're going to end up thinking about the painting.
Yeah.
But it's meditation and breath work. It's basically just about focus, genuinely about focus and breathing. When you focus on your breathing, you're meditating. Right. And it's literally just that simple.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
When you focus on something like what I've heard it called box breathing. It's the 4 count of breathe in for 4 count, hold for 4, exhale for 4, and then hold for 4. When you're doing something like that, you're focusing on, you're counting your breath, you're counting as you're doing that. So you're focusing on that, and that in itself is a meditation.
Okay, that sounds
so
simple.
Yeah. What do you think about that?
Well, I'm heartened by the fact that it's box. So my cat's called Box or Boxy. So that's got to be a good sign that it's going to start. I feel like I can probably breathe. So that's like
That's
a
good.
good start to it as well. Yeah.
Good start. Breathing is good.
Mhm.
And Boxy will help you remember box breathing. Four
Yes.
count, box breathing, Boxy.
Yeah.
See? I'll help you remember it.
It's all coming together.
Um, so yeah, and a lot of the issues surrounding meditation, like I said, some people think it's not practical, it's unattainable, because there are people who have anxiety that have a hard time letting thoughts go.
Mm.
And it's not always about, you're gonna have thoughts. They're
Yeah.
gonna pop up. And
I'm
it's
possessed of
about,
I'm possessed of quite an active mind, so I think there's going to be a lot of blotting out thoughts and things. I'm a good subject if I can manage to center myself and still myself at all. Then you would have done a good job.
yeah. And it's a practice. It's a practice. And it's about, not judging yourself in that moment when the thought pops up, because you're human. It's going to happen.
Should I be expecting visions or anything like that?
You could, once you start getting into a practice more regularly, if you are trying to tap into your intuition, which we will get into later. If you are trying to tap into intuition, I mean, you can get images, visions that come to you. Sometimes guided meditation can help. Sometimes people there are people that I found that cannot visualize inside their head.
Mm-hmm.
So a guided meditation might not be something that would work for them.
Mm-hmm.
It's about finding what works for you and going with that. If you need to start out with just breathing, and your introduction into meditation is just breathing, just stopping yourself in a moment when you feel that you need to be grounded, i.e., when you feel like you're up in your head and you're disconnected from the rest of your body. If you ever got that feeling before, that's, you need to be grounded back into your body.
Yeah.
And in that moment, when you notice that, and you can step back and focus on your breathing, you got that meditation down.
Yeah.
It only takes a minute, maybe less than that.
You can meditate
breathing.
in a minute.
Yeah.
Yeah, because obviously you've got
Breathing.
Just to remind anybody that I'm here as the complete novice to stuff, so hopefully I'll be asking questions anybody might have thought of, and I have a lot of questions. So I'm sort of now thinking about it and going, yeah. So what are we aiming for? Are we aiming for something? Are we aiming for like a different mental state? What if I'm really good at meditating? And well, I mean, a minute in, I find myself in a sort of transcendental realm of some kind, or anything. Is there anything I need to be prepared for? How do I get back?
How do you get back? So when you get into that space, you can actually, if you can count yourself back. Sometimes, depending on the meditation, you can actually count yourself into a meditation, focusing on your breath and counting yourself in. And when you feel yourself drifting and you're like, I think I want to come back, you can count yourself back.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, that takes a while. You have to be in it for quite a bit. Sometimes some people fall asleep when they're in it. And I mean, that's fine. That just means that you need the rest.
So are we aiming for things? We're aiming for I mean, you mentioned centeredness, and I guess I guess I know what you mean by that, but I guess I should sort of define if we both mean the same thing by that. What do you mean by centeredness?
Well, when you are feeling anxious, there's actually a disconnect where you're up in your head and you're thinking, and oh my God, and worrying and what if. If you notice when you're in that space, you feel very disconnected from yourself, from your surroundings. You're very much up here in your head.
Yeah.
So by breathing and recognizing that you focusing in and breathing and grounding yourself, bringing yourself back into your body. So it's,
I'm
do you know
asking
what I'm
big
getting
questions,
at?
and I think they're probably most people going to have a sense of that. But it's funny, as soon as you started talking about it, the idea of it being something that I'm guessing if you're centered, you're automatically not anxious. Then is there anything you are? What is should I be expecting a degree of bliss or something like that?
Um, an awareness,
Yeah.
really, a consciousness of like what's going on in your body. Sometimes you get signals from your body, like you get stomach problems or digestion issues or pain in your body, and you don't always notice it immediately if you're all up in your head.
Mm.
And there are meditations where you can do a body scan, where you can scan yourself through meditation and just kind of check your body to see, is there anything that I'm having problems with right now. So when you're anxious and you're in a really bad headspace, I should say,
Yeah.
you're not always aware of everything else that's going on in your body, because when it comes down to it, it's your chakras. And let's get into chakras. Why not? Let's do it. Dive right into that. So your chakras are the energy centers within your body.
Mm-hmm. And we've all got
This is,
yeah.
yes,
I know we'll be
we've
getting
all
into this
got
in depth another time. Yeah, but yeah.
well, yeah,
We're diving into a lot here.
talk about it a little bit here and there. I mean, every episode I think is going to end up talking about it a little bit, because it's such an important, like a building block. It's like it's like the foundation of pretty much everything that has to do with spirituality, because we're all energy. So it all starts with energy. So it all starts with your chakras. So your chakras are the main energy centers in your body. And there are organs that are connected to those locations, that are surround those locations. So there's your root chakra, which is the base of your spine. So
does have chakras?
What's that?
Has everybody got chakras?
Yes, everybody's got chakras.
Even English people?
Even English people. They just ignore them, usually.
Yeah.
Is my experience.
Right, yeah. So I need to get them out, polish the dust off them a little bit or something.
Dust them off. Well, yeah, maybe we can do that later.
Yeah, okay.
But we have the root chakra, which is the base of your spine.
Right.
And then we have the sacral chakra, which is below the navel. And that's usually, like, for women, the reproductive organs, like stuff like that, the intestines, stuff like that. Mm-hmm. And then the solar plexus chakra, which is right around where your diaphragm and your stomach are, right there, right at the bottom of your rib cage. The heart chakra, which is where your heart is. Then there's the throat chakra, which is right in your throat. Communication,
right?
How we speak when we don't speak. That is that chakra. If it's blocked, not blocked, too open, not open enough. Mm-hmm. And then we have the third eye, right in the middle of the forehead, right, where the pineal gland is in your brain. Mm-hmm. That is considered the third eye. And then the last major one we have is the crown chakra, which is actually about a handspan above your head.
Right.
And those are the 7 main energy centers in your body. So when I'm talking about being centered, I'm talking about being more aligned with your chakras, being centered, being grounded. Because when you're up in your head, mm-hmm, you're not feeling in alignment, so you're not noticing the rest of your body.
Right. Okay. So it's about
That
being,
makes sense
yeah,
now?
your body and mind being in alignment, attuned.
Yeah,
Yeah.
connected. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. That sounds good. That sounds good. I can
Hmm.
work with that.
Okay. Any questions?
So is this a specific type of meditation we're talking about that relies on this sort of thing?
Lots. Let's just be real here. There are tons and tons and tons and tons of meditations. If there's something specific that you want to do, some sort of guided meditation specific, everything. There's anything you can possibly think of for guided meditations, for chakra meditations. There are meditations to, oh, I don't want to get too deep into it and blow your mind, but there are meeting your ancestor meditations. There are past life regression meditations. There's, yeah, I'm not going to go any deeper into that.
I think I might have vaguely. Sometimes when I'm not sleeping, I kind of scan through YouTube and try and find something to sleep, and it sometimes drifts from one video to another. And I'm sure I've woken up early hours in the morning to hear somebody trying to regress me or something like that. So I've kind of half been aware that these things are happening, but yeah, I've not really dabbled into them in any particular depth or anything. But yeah, I have an awareness they exist.
Let me just say, I do not condone doing past life regression unless you have somebody who is a professional helping you,
Right.
not just a professional who can help you through past life regression, but actually someone who is trained in psychology in some way, shape, or form that can help you deal with any trauma that might have come through for a past life regression. But we're not going to get into that because that's a whole other can of worms, and that's a lot. That's a lot. A lot.
Yeah, yeah. Okay.
That we're gonna maybe get to in maybe a more advanced seasons of this podcast.
Yeah, that sounds like fun. We'll start with this life then, shall we?
Yeah.
This current one.
Yeah, let's start with this.
To start with, yeah.
So lots of different meditations you can do. There, as far as breath work, there are many ways to work with your breath that can help many different types of issues. Mm-hmm. Like box breathing is good for just generally grounding yourself. But then I was actually taught, because I've been having some issues recently with, kind of spiritually leveling up, in, if you want to call it that, is, you kind of feel like you've plateaued, but then, I mean, if you want to use it like in weight loss terms or in exercise terms, where you feel like you've hit a plateau, you can't really go any further, you have to change something else. Something else has to change in order for you to get to that next step. So I have recently been experiencing this where everything felt like it leveled off.
Yeah. And
there was some kind of wall blocking me from going to the next level. Mm-hmm. And I realized what I wasn't doing was a regular meditation practice,
right?
Which is kind of essential for what I do.
Yeah.
And then also, I was realizing some of the old ways of doing things weren't really working for me anymore. So I was getting triggered. I was getting anxious more easily. And one of the things I was taught was it's actually Lamaze breathing.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's with
to when you're in that space of anxiety and you're like, oh my God, what do I do? How do I pull myself back? When you're in that moment and you don't know what to do, if you're self-aware enough to back away, mm-hmm. to step away from that moment or whatever is causing that in you, Lamaze breathing, but it's using vowel sounds.
Okay, so it's something that you do with pregnancy. It's in relation.
Yeah, that
Lamaze groups or something. I don't know if we have them in the UK or not. not, or if there's an equivalent or something like that. But it
Yeah.
involves noises then. Is it
Yeah, it's just it's short breaths. It's very short, shallow breaths. It's
Okay.
but doing it with a vowel sound like hey, 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 he, he.
Right.
And doing it that way actually it pulls you out of that anxious moment, that triggering moment,
Okay.
brings you back into your body, and then from there, if you need to calm down even further, you can do something like the box breathing, or you can try another breathing method that will relax you now that you're back. You've pulled yourself back from that moment.
Yeah. I wonder if I've intuitively done some of that sort of thing when I've been hiking a few times. I think when I was
Yeah.
when I was hiking in Spain and I was going over some mountains, I used to there's like some old song or something, some old hiking song about like I like to go wandering with my knapsack on my back, and there's a little bit of singing melody like Valerie, and it's Valerie. And what I used to do is I used to repeat that bit while I was hiking, but I would do it in breaths. So I'd be like and things like that. So I'd be walking and I'd do little rhythms.
Yeah.
So yeah, so maybe some of it's intuitive. I'm guessing is that kind
Yes,
of comes.
yes. Sometimes we pick up on things, um, like you said, intuitively. Sometimes we just naturally get that instinct
Hmm.
of doing that. And we don't know, oh, I don't know where that came from. Have you ever heard anybody say that? I don't know where that came from. Well, it could be just something came to you naturally, just came to you because that was something that you needed in that moment. It was something that you need to move forward. Maybe that's a lesson that you needed to learn.
Yeah, so maybe I have been doing minor meditations while I've been on long hikes on my own and things like that, possibly.
Oh yeah. And see, that's another thing, is that sometimes any kind of activity where you are focused on an objective, yoga is a moving meditation.
Right.
Some people, walking is a meditation, hiking can be a meditation. I have done painting that was a meditation. Painting can be a meditation for me.
Hmm.
It's when you're focused on something, and you notice how you're much more relaxed than you would be any other time when you're doing that activity. That's actually a form of meditation.
Right, yeah. So paradoxically, for me, then, I've meditated at times when I wasn't intending to meditate, but when I've intended to
Yes.
meditation for me hasn't been a meditation, but other things have been. Okay. Yeah, that's
Yeah, and sometimes those things that relax you, that put you in that kind of meditative space, those are what you want to use as a guide to bring you into a more structured meditation practice.
hmm.
Like I said, you can start with the breath work, but if you have something like that, like for me, like yoga or painting, where that's a meditation,
Hmm.
you can use that as a focus
Okay, yeah. Because I'm an
to.
illustrator and artist, so I've obviously
Mhm.
had to sort of sometimes take them when I'm doing long paintings with lots of small brush work or things like that. I guess I kind of have to get into a zone. I'm uniquely bad at yoga, though. I tried it um, not so long ago. I went to a class, maybe, I don't know, is it a couple of years ago, I guess, and they started off by saying, okay, if you sit on the floor and find a way to sit that you feel comfortable. And I thought,
Mhm.
there is no way that I can't find a way to feel comfortable on on the floor there unless you're
Oh
going to get some
boy.
sort of big comfortable chair or something. That's not going to. And then they asked me to put my arm up straight. I think from behind my back or up straight. Is that a yoga pose? Um, they
Hmm.
kind of came up and said, yeah, no, put it up straight. So I went, I think it is straight. And then they went, if you look at the mirror, I looked at the mirror, it wasn't straight at all. It was far from straight. So I don't know if anything in my body goes straight or in the positions that it's supposed to do. I think I'm kind of just maybe
Oh,
maybe after this I will do. Who knows? Who knows?
So, honestly, maybe it wasn't the right class for you, because that sounds like they weren't. You kind of just got to work with what your body can do, what's accessible for you.
Yeah, I mean that maybe they weren't
Yeah.
prepared for the awkwardness that I was bringing I was bringing to the challenge. Yeah, but it's I'll get there eventually. I'll get there eventually. Just have
Yeah.
slow steps, slow steps. That's it.
Yeah. Yeah. A little bit at a time.
Hmm.
Do you have a question?
No, no. Well, I was quite sure because you looked away. I just literally what popped into my mind was, so hang on, what's a yogi? And then I thought, no, I can't ask that, can I? I mean, is that
A yogi is just someone who does yoga.
right? So I could literally be a yogi by the end of this, then.
Yeah. If
If I
you're doing yoga, sure.
Yeah. Who knows? Maybe I'll cross my legs while we're doing this, and I can, yeah, leave it as a.
So that picture that we have, our promotional picture where you were struggling to sit, that was not, I mean, it was a joke, but it was at your own expense.
Yes,
and it was true.
Yeah, it was that I was actually quite proud of that pose that I did. It was closer than I've ever got before. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
It was borderline transcendental meditation for me. That was just getting to meditation. What is transcendental meditation? Actually, we should ask that, shouldn't we? At this point, then.
Honestly, I think that's just meditation.
Where you try.
There is a specific way that they do it. I've never really delved into the trademark of transcendental meditation. No, I haven't. I haven't delved into that. Yeah, I'm not sure what exactly that is, other than just I don't know if it's a guided meditation. I mean, it might just be a guided meditation. I'm not as well versed on that because like I said, I haven't delved into that specific thing.
The Beatles did it, and I remember actually now, I think in my mid-20s, I maybe looked into that very briefly because I'd heard something about it, and apparently all the teachers that were licensed to do it had to put their prices up or something like that. I don't know. It was like it was a branded thing, and I remember thinking, oh, okay, well, I'll give that a miss for now because
maybe it's just regular meditation. It's just the way it's taught, or I don't know. I don't know.
To do with certain mantras or something like that. There's another
word. You can do mantras as a meditation. Yeah, there's mantra meditations that you can do.
It's amazing coming up from the depths of my mind now. We're starting to talk about it. So will we be using mantras, or is that kind of the breathing as an alternative to mantras, or is that?
No. You can use a mantra for meditation. There are actually Sanskrit mantras and Sanskrit words that go with every chakra.
Right.
If you are working on trying to clear a chakra, I'm not 100% sure what each word is.
And then would be something, just to clarify again, would be something that you would repeat over. Or
yes. I know when I do yoga, certain classes that I go to, they will do an Om at the end, and Om, I believe, is for the throat chakra. Hold on one second. I'm just double checking that I am correct here. I don't want to give the wrong information. Because of the vibration of it and saying it out loud, I believe it might be the throat chakra. Oh, this says crown chakra. Okay. But it is the internet, so. But Om is definitely something, it's something they like to end a class with sometimes, depending on the yogi, as you mentioned. But but Om is one of the ones that I'm familiar with. You can do that. There is also Yam, which is, I believe, is your root chakra.
Yam.
Yam. Y-A-M, Yam.
Right. Y-A-M, like Yam.
Yam, but it's pronounced Yam. It's Sanskrit.
How do you spell Om?
Om is just O-M.
Right.
And there's Lam, with an L. And I feel so bad. I don't remember where each one goes, but
I don't know if they sound quite so exotic.
Quickly Googling.
Accent, it kind of sounds like, Om, Yam, and Lamb in my accent, coming from Birmingham. Om, Yam, and Lamb. Right.
Lam is your root chakra.
Right.
Mudlahara. That is the root chakra. And let me see. Yam is for the heart chakra.
Okay.
And I guess that one it's saying crown chakra. But there are Sanskrit mantras that you could use for every one of your chakras. Getting back on track.
Yes.
So mantra meditation is definitely a thing.
Mm-hmm.
You can do meditations in so many different ways. You can do sound meditations. We're using crystal singing bowls. If you want to get really deep into like different meditations,
so you don't make the sound, then the bowls make the sound.
Yeah. They can, a practitioner can work on the bowl, making the sounds. They are tuned to certain frequencies that align with each chakra, because we're all energy. We're also we also have vibrations and frequencies attached to all that energy that's around us. So those frequencies can become out of alignment.
Yeah. Okay.
So sound healing meditations are wonderful. They're actually really profound, especially because if you're in the room with it, you can feel the vibration as well.
It's created by running something around the rim of a bowl.
Yeah, it's like a
wine glass sort of thing, isn't it?
Yeah, it's like a stick that you wind around the rim of the bowl.
Yeah.
It's fantastic. It's very transcendental feeling that you get from that.
That sounds nice. Yeah. So we've got sound ones, we've got breathing ones, we've got mantra ones. That's what we spoke about.
Yeah.
I say mantra and you say mantra, and it just sounds a lot more
mantra. And then your breathing is part of the meditation. So you have your breath work that you can do on your own, and it doesn't have to be a full meditation where you're laying down and your eyes are closed and everything like that. Yeah. But then guided meditations for me, I think, were the gateway for me to get into meditations, because I mean, it is kind of daunting in the beginning when you are trying to get into a meditation practice. It's hard to not judge yourself when you're having thoughts pop up here and there. Sometimes having that person, that calming voice,
so the
telling you
meditation would be somebody else guiding you, somebody else's.
Yes, like somebody else's voice. They're helping you to visualize, like they're
tour, but of meditation.
Yeah, it's imagining, visualizing something inside of your head.
Okay.
And you're walking through that. Like some really good ones I've done will actually have you going through a path in the woods, and maybe you're coming up to a cottage. And it's all about your own interpretation. Sometimes they'll guide you to see, like, what colors do you see, what animals do you see, what flowers do you see, and they kind of let you create your own world. Like I said, sometimes people can't do the visualization in their head. I found that that's a thing. I didn't even realize, because I have such a vivid visuals in my head when I'm doing meditations, when I'm just imagining things as a writer, as an artist. I'm imagining scenarios in my head, and I just kind of feel sad for anybody who can't do that. Yeah. I didn't realize that was a thing until fairly recently.
Yeah, just chiming in. I've heard recently people talk about the fact that they can't visualize things, can't they? I think it's often, I can't remember what it's called. I was going to say it's aphasia or something like that, but it's one of those things, isn't it? But I can't remember.
Yeah. So, and then there's, I've done a really amazing one where you're walking on the beach and you actually go walk into the water, and it's kind of a healing, cleansing type of thing where it's like you're letting go of anything you don't need. And, as you're swimming, you're releasing that, letting all of that go. And
yeah.
And then you end up coming back to the shore and walking down the beach, and then you come back to your body. There's a lot. And I mean, the guided meditations were easy for me to get into. Some people, they might need to focus on their breath and get into meditation practice that way. Because honestly, as long as you can focus on your breath, take a few minutes and do the breath work to help you calm you down, bring you out of your head, back into your body, and in a more relaxed state. Even just doing breath work here and there whenever you get a chance, that's huge. And that might be the only thing you do. That might be your meditation practice. But like I said, the guided meditation, that was always the thing for me. And then once you get into a good structure for meditation, you could potentially try to do your own kind of free-flowing meditation, where you decide what you want to do, where you want to go in your meditation.
Okay. Yeah. So it's kind of, it can be like a little a tour, a little
yeah.
So are we going to try one tonight? Is that part
of we could do that. Definitely.
Guided, or we're going to do breathing, or we're going to do both, or neither?
Yeah, so actually, if you would like to, we could actually do a chakra alignment one.
Okay, cool.
If you're feeling up to that. I haven't done one of these in a while, so I do enjoy leading these. They feel really nice. A lot of this, pretty much everything I know, my experience has come from other places. I mean, at this point in human existence, it's pretty much all been done before. So it's all, who taught me? What did I learn? How did I learn this? You're not going to get a whole lot of new. I mean, every once in a while you do. Yeah. But it's all pretty much comes from somewhere. And the one that I've done when I was trying to work with my intuition was a psychic room meditation, where I basically built up a room inside my head and how it's laid out and how it's designed. And that was my way of getting into to kind of receive messages intuitively, to work more on my psychic abilities.
So they're going to be creating like an inner space, an inner room or something.
Yeah, that's what the psychic room meditation was for. It was building it up in a way that you got so used to going there and connecting that after a while it was automatic. You wouldn't have to like go through all the steps and every single little thing. You'd just be there.
Okay.
It was just getting yourself used to it. So it's basically like that with a meditation practice. Any kind of general meditation practice is getting yourself used to being in that relaxed state. And
I hope I'm going to be okay with this, because I know I did an acting workshop one time, and a friend of mine, at the beginning they did a thing where they said, okay, we want you to close your eyes and imagine yourself in a place where you feel safe, in your happy place. I mean, a friend was sitting there while everybody was and I opened my eyes after about a minute and a half and looked at my friend, and she looked over to me and went, I don't think I've got a happy place. I said, I haven't either. I couldn't find one. So we might have to, maybe the possibilities of creating one or something like that. Oh, maybe by the end of this I'll have a happy place.
Maybe you can work on that. Some homework for you.
Yeah.
Here you go.
So psychic room meditation, is that not what we're going to do now then?
No. That's for like if you do want to do the kind of work that I do with psychic ability, and I don't do that anymore.
Oh, so this is interlocked with psychic ability, is it?
That one is, yeah. And I don't do that one anymore. That I don't need that to connect. It was basically just like a beginner's way of getting into it. I don't need all of that to connect anymore, but it was a great way to start out. Just like with a guided meditation, you could start out with a guided meditation to get yourself used to that relaxation, that feeling of peace and relaxation that you would get from a guided meditation. And then you could potentially work your way into like free-flowing meditation where you just do it yourself. You just take yourself wherever you want to go without somebody else telling you where to go.
Okay.
So with what I'm going to do now, though, is more of just a guided meditation that's that some people actually use to get you into a sacred space, get you into a more relaxed state, so you can do further meditation. This is kind of like a prep for meditation, but it is in itself a meditation.
So when we say a sacred space, do we mean like a sacred headspace? Is that what we mean?
Yeah, getting yourself into a more relaxed state and a happy place, if you will.
Okay, I'll try and find a happy place. Okay.
You might find one without even meaning to.
Yeah, who knows?
Who knows?
Okay.
Okay, so the first thing you want to do, we want to focus on our breath, and not trying to
a little bit there.
Not trying to control it, just focusing in on it. If you feel like closing your eyes, if you're comfortable closing your eyes, you can do that.
Okay, I think I can give that a go.
Okay. All right.
Right, you're not pulling faces at me while I've got my eyes closed.
No. I could, but no, I'm not. I'm not going to do that. You focus on your breathing, not trying to control it. Just feeling the natural in and out of your breath. And then pull your focus to the base of your spine, your root chakra, which is a bright, vibrant red.
Nice, okay.
Imagine.
Is posture important? Or?
No, whatever's comfortable.
I'm going to shift a little bit. Okay. That feels good, a little bit straighter spine.
Imagine your roots coming down out of your root chakra, down through your legs, out through your feet, and they grow further down through the floor, down into the grass, into the soil, and they continue to grow past the soil, through the rock, down further until you reach the gold molten core of the earth. Imagine that golden earth energy moving up through the roots as you retract your roots back up through the earth, through the rock, back up through the floor, through your legs, and bring that golden earth energy back to your bright red root chakra. And then bring that golden energy up further, up to your sacral chakra below your navel. And that bright orange energy, open, clear, and moving. Then bring that golden energy up further, further still to your solar plexus chakra, just below your rib cage. The vibrant yellow of your power center, your vitality in your solar plexus chakra. Feel that yellow energy opening, clearing, and then allow that golden energy to come up and up further into your heart, in your heart chakra. The beautiful forest green of your heart chakra. And feel that energy of your heart chakra, that green, beautiful energy, open and clear. And then bring that golden earth energy up to your throat chakra in that light blue that helps you to communicate. And imagine that blue energy opening and clearing. Bring that golden earth energy up further, up through into your head and into your third eye chakra. That deep indigo of your third eye chakra. And feel that healing golden earth energy work through your third eye chakra. And then bring that golden ball of energy up further, just above your head, to the crown chakra. This silvery white amethyst crown chakra, the connection, your connection to the divine. And then allow that golden ball, that golden earth energy to open further until it encapsulates your whole body. And you can come back whenever you feel comfortable.
Yeah, that was nice.
How are you feeling?
Yeah. Yeah, that was very nice. Doing it, I was kind of almost sort of just slightly rocking or something like that. I don't know if I'd say rocking, but just very gently. I don't know if it was in time with the breathing or something like that. Just sort of gently swaying with it or something. But it was interesting, yeah.
It can be a little intense. You can feel the energy.
Mm.
I mean, you might just be visualizing it, quote unquote, but it is
Yeah.
you are healing your own energy is what that is.
The colours were very vivid as well. That was nice. I like
Mm.
colours, and there was
Good.
very strong colours.
Good. 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 Good.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a very good grounding energy or grounding meditation because that's exactly what it's doing is your root chakras, you're grounding yourself into the earth.
Yeah. Yeah. Literally, in a way. Yeah.
You're
Yeah.
not floaty up here in the sky just floating around. You're more centered, you're more grounded, more
Yeah, and I definitely did feel that a sense of,
in your
coming
own
back to it,
body.
like, yeah, I was away somewhere there while that was happening.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
that was more successful
Whoa.
than I thought. I kind of oddly found at one point though, I was almost
Mm-hmm.
the breathing. I almost forgot about the breathing, although it was obviously quite deeply rhythmic. At the beginning, I was quite conscious of it, and then as it went on,
Mm-hmm.
I feel like there wasn't really much that I was conscious of at all, apart from the vision of the colours and the energy going up through the core. So that's,
Yeah.
hmm,
But you can see what I mean is that the breath
yeah,
work starts it.
it
You
started it.
start that way. That's how you get in. It's like your gateway is
Yeah,
getting there by through the breathing, focusing on your breathing. And then with a guided meditation, it's giving you something to focus on.
yeah, yeah,
You're focusing on that person's words, you're focusing on visualizing
mm,
what they're talking about, so that's where your focus is. So that's why sometimes a guided meditation is easier to get into a meditation practice.
yeah. Nice, and no panic attacks as well. So that's another.
No, not at all.
Yeah.
Good.
Mm. So I wonder if people I'm guessing people who are listening along will have been. I didn't make any strange noises or anything while it went along. By the way,
No.
the way after, am I okay?
No, no, you're good, and I didn't make any faces at you either.
Right. Okay. Yeah, that's good. Yeah, I like to think people have been listening along and doing the same. Maybe we should put a warning at the beginning of this.
I do appreciate that. You're reminding me of that. I will interject a little warning that if you do not feel comfortable with going through your chakras, because if you haven't worked with your chakras before,
Hmm.
you probably don't want to do this meditation because it it can be kind of triggering.
Hmm.
Um, it can uh, it can open chakras that you might not have ever opened before, or it might, like I said, if you've never done it before,
Mm.
um, it can kind of blow those chakras wide open, which is another problem in itself. Having closed chakras is bad. Having like really, really open chakras can be bad. They all have their own issues. Like, I don't, for example, with your throat chakra, if you have a closed off throat chakra, you can be incredibly shy, not speaking your mind, not speaking your truth. Um, and having a really open throat chakra can be lashing out at people. The brutal honesty that isn't really helping anybody.
Yeah.
Um, just being loud and obnoxious, that's not helping anyone.
Mm. Yeah.
So I mean, there are good things and bad things with the chakras. It can be like I said, closed, really too open.
Mm.
With everything in life, it's all about balance.
And we're going to be talking about chakras. It's funny with the accent difference, isn't it? I'm kind of going, am I saying this right? So chakras. Is that my accent?
Chakras, because
Yeah.
I think it's because that's the Sanskrit. So I believe it's chakras.
Chakras.
Yeah.
Okay.
And mantras, and just kind of like OM, you might not say that as Om. You'd be like
Yeah.
And just like YAM, you think yam. Okay, it's yams. No, it's yam.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
yeah,
And we're going to be
it's
talking about
just
chakras further down the line on another one of these.
oh yeah.
Cool.
Like I said, they're like the building blocks. It's the start of pretty much everything that has to do with spirituality. So
I won't remember
you're
all
the
of
base.
this. Yeah, I'm sure
What's
we'll
that?
come back to it. I won't remember all of this, so I'm sure we'll be tapping it along the line. Okay, yeah.
You'll pick some more up on along the way and be like, oh yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, I'm gradually absorbing it as we go along.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool. Yeah,
Yeah.
really good.
Yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, I'm still reflecting on that as well. I'm sort of going, yeah, I do feel more centered now. I think I'm
Good.
sitting up, my posture's a little bit straighter as well. I think I feel a little bit,
Lighter.
yeah, definitely.
Yes. Good. Hopefully that'll help you sleep tonight. There you go.
Yeah. Well, it's early hours of the morning here now, so yeah, so
Mm-hmm.
that would be helpful if I'm not. If I'd have come off here on a real buzz, that could have been an issue. But now I'm feeling very, very soothed and very together. Yeah.
Good.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
All right. Do you have any other questions about meditation? Do you think people would like to know?
I think we've probably covered it, haven't we? We've covered the different sorts of meditation. At one point, I made a
Yeah.
note of astral projection. That's something different, isn't it? That's
Astral projection, that's not meditation. You can get yourself into a meditative state and do that. Oh, astral projection is a whole
yeah.
other can of worms.
That's not before we can walk then.
It's a big old subject.
Right.
Something I've dabbled with a bit. Yeah, we'll get into that.
Yeah, I mean,
we got time. We got lots of time.
In 100 shows' time, we could be doing the whole show via astral projection, possibly.
Maybe. Yeah. I don't know how interesting that would be because I mean,
well, only
we'd be kind of silent because we'd just be sitting here like zombies.
Yeah.
And then our soul would be somewhere else.
Yeah.
Just wandering around. I don't think that'd be very entertaining.
Possibly for us only. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't, you're not going to hear much unless we were like, our bodies were like burping or farting while we were doing it. That's pretty much all you're going to hear.
That'll be what the podcast will end up like, isn't it? The final podcast. The two of us burping and farting for the audience. They'll go, right, they've finally reached that final stage. The podcasts have reached their natural ending.
It's like, okay, they're done now. Yeah. They got nothing else.
Yeah, tune into that podcast when it happens. Yeah, okay.
All right, so I guess...
I feel like I should have asked.
I guess the only other takeaway I would like... The only other thing I want people to take away from this is it doesn't have to be unattainable. It doesn't have to be impractical. It's, you put the time into it that you can afford to give it. Yeah. You can start it however you want. You can start it with a breath work. You can get yourself there and get yourself into a relaxed state. Just getting yourself to that point where you can be in a relaxed state long enough to go even further, go into guided meditations, go into your own free-flowing meditations. You can use an activity to get you there, like yoga or painting or whatever puts you in a very relaxed state. Hiking. When you are in that meditative state, though, and this is what I think trips a lot of people up. When you are in that state and you do notice that you are getting thoughts coming in, it's important And like I said, it's a practice. You're not always going to get it 100% all the time. Even I will go into a meditation and just be bombarded with thoughts.
Mm-hmm.
The point of this is not to judge yourself, because sometimes when we get into that space and we're not able to get relaxed, or we get these thoughts coming in and we're judging ourselves for those thoughts, and then we're just compounding the issue of, oh, I can't do this. I can't do this. This is not something I can do. It's learning to let those things go. Part of the process and the practice of meditation is learning to see those thought patterns, and let them go without judging yourself, because it's going to happen. Yeah, it's going to happen. And if you let yourself get stuck on the thoughts that are coming in,
mm-hmm.
you're not going to be able to keep going. You're not going to be able to keep going through. You have to just acknowledge it. That's something that's happened, and let it go. But it's not something you're always going to be able to do.
Mm-hmm.
You just got to practice.
So you just let them pass you by as much as you can do. Just let them.
Like, okay, that's great. Okay, I have to buy that thing at the grocery store later. Okay, that's great. I'll do that later.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. And I've just had a thought. We were talking about the hiking, and I suddenly occurred to me, pilgrimages. I guess that's kind of the same thing. That's maybe why people, because the hike that I did actually was a pilgrimage anyway. I did the Camino de Santiago. That's one of the ones where I used to do the breathing on. So yeah, suddenly I've had an epiphany. It all makes sense why I was hiking and why pilgrimages happen. So maybe that will make sense now as well. Okay. I was more skeptical than you.
Yeah, and there's lots of topics for us to go through. There's so much, and that's why I wanted to do this whole series, this whole podcast, because there's so much. There are so many aspects to the spirituality, to connecting to yourself and all the things that you can't see. There is so much, and it can be really daunting to somebody on the outside looking in, be like, that looks really good, but I don't understand it. And if you look at the big picture of it, it just like, I'd never understand this. I'll never, why even try?
Yeah.
The point of this is to break it down little by little, like certain smaller topics, so it doesn't seem so far-fetched. It doesn't seem so crazy. And we're just kind of easing you in a little bit at a time. There's lots and lots of things to go. So I've actually... What's that?
I was going to say, I guess people can pick and choose what's right for them if they go through, as we cover different topics, which are the ones that connect with them, which are the ones that make sense to them, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, there's lots of stuff. I mean, we're going to go into intuition. We're going to go into astrology. We're going to go into some life coaching, some energy healing. There's a lot of different topics, even like things like tarot cards and UFOs. I don't know. Yoga.
Stupid or not so stupid questions. We'll see how it goes. But
yes.
I can see that's a role I can fulfill.
Yeah, and I mean, we also have other topics that we brought up, like astral projection. That's a big one. That's another one we can tackle.
Yeah. Lots. Wow.
We got a work cut out for us here.
We've got a big journey ahead. Yeah. I look forward.
Yeah. So we're gonna have to buckle in.
And with a pilgrimage, they always say it's the journey, not the destination, don't they?
Exactly. Ding, ding, ding.
So what now?
Okay.
So I guess you'll leave us with some words of wisdom.
Of course. Always. So until next time, as Truman Burbank would say, if I don't see ya, good afternoon, good evening, and good night.